we all celebrated that we got the focus about DIR fees,
right?
Until they passed a law that definitely helped patients, and we're excited about that. At least copay patients, but it didn't do pharmacies any good. In fact, come up here Q1.
It's going to be a tough Q1, right?
Oh my goodness, pharmacies that have to deal with the DIR fees are going to get double whammied, and I tell you, I don't know how many of them are going to survive. I don't even know if they're really aware of the fact they're going to get paid less.
For folks who may not be, let's walk through what's happening in Q1 then.
Yeah, so the government came out and when they realized, and that's usually what it takes. It really takes that there's going to be harm to the public for them to react, and there was harm to the public. So, what PBMs were doing is they were charging $10, and they were charging a copay for that. And then 5 months later, they went back to the pharmacy and said, "No, we should have paid you $5. We're taking back $5." Except that patient already paid 20% of that $10. They really should pay 20% of the $5. And so the government said, you can't do that anymore. And so the PBM said, okay with us, no problem. We're still going to only reimburse $5, but we're going to do that now in January 1st. We're going to only reimburse $5. Except you still got the Q4 DIR fees. They're going to be hitting pharmacies.
Yeah, so they'll get the retroactive hit from Q4 while getting the real-time hit from Q1 all at the same time. So basically a double hit of DIR fees all in one quarter.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And now, we're getting a lot of attention about PBMs in Congress.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conversation going in. 3 years ago, you probably couldn't name 2 congressmen and women that even knew what a PBM stood for.
Right.
Now they're all aware, which is good. But they all want to put their bill in, and they all want to kind of pass their laws. And at the end of the day, if it ends up like the DIR did, then it's really not going to do any good. And really, we need Congress to pass one law, which is PBM transparency.
Yeah. How much can you do locally versus waiting on the federal government?
Well, I tell you, pharmacists at one point, I don't know if it's still thought of this, but pharmacy at one point was the most trusted profession.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're pretty
still
high
in the top 10 probably. We can go get the stat, but yeah, still pretty high.
But I think most people appreciate their local pharmacist, even if they, regardless they work for a large chain or whatever. I think long-term care pharmacies are a good example of just a hidden secret. That's a nursing home thing and that kind of stuff. And vaccine clinics are a good example of how you can get out to the public. You can get a name recognition, a brand name recognition for your long-term care pharmacy. You can go out and start offering things, like vitamin programs, like over-the-counter programs and those type of things. You can go out and start, again, offering different services to your public and make that awareness and be the fact that, we can do this, especially if you're going to go into long-term care at home. You really need to brand your pharmacy, and you really need to publicize that. As far as moving the envelope, I think it's really important to get state congressmen and women, state senators into your long-term care pharmacies and show them what you do and how you do it. Explain to them why your reimbursement is so critical, because you're doing all this extra stuff. And really, whether that long-term care patient resides at home or in a nursing home or in an AL home or an IL home, you should be compensated the same, because your services you're providing is significantly more. But they need to understand that. I mean, these men and women are voting for different things, but yet they're voting. They have no idea what a long-term care pharmacy is or how PBMs are taking majority of the market share and that kind of stuff. And so, getting involved. And then, of course, the associations, supporting your associations like ASCP and SCPC and those type of things are critical. And the reason why is because they're fighting for us, and there's volume in numbers. It's just that simple. So I see a lot of times where the pharmacy is part of the ASCP, but every pharmacist and every career technician that works at that long-term care pharmacy should be a member of ASCP, because there's magnitude in that kind of volume, and we can get more attention with the more volume of people that we're representing. So getting involved in those associations, I think, are critical.